So today we're going to cook mackerel 3 ways, from easiest to hardest if you're a beginner, if you want to do something a little more chefy. And then we're going to clean up with MacKenzie's Fisherman hand scrub, because it's the only thing that cleans that mackerel smell and also cleans those little gritty tiny scales on the mackerel. So we got here our beautiful mackerel. This is just some leftover bait fish that we had from the other day. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to clean them. All you're going to do is you're going to come behind and you're going to cut diagonally towards the head like that. So you're going to make a slice towards the head, and you're going to turn it around and make another diagonal cut towards the head. And then what you end up having is this nice little point which nicely just pulls out, and the guts and the head will come out. Now, not all the guts will come out sometimes, so what you do is you go in the little vent here and make a slight cut all the way towards the top. And now you have the mackerel's internals. You have some leftover organs here, and then more importantly, you have this little bloodline. And what I do is I like to just take my finger and I just run it up the bloodline to take care of it. Now I'm going to do it to all of these. Now the interesting thing about mackerel is that when it's fresh, it's delicious. I think if you don't eat mackerel, you're missing out. But as I mentioned, because the shelf life is so dang short, if you wait too long, that fish is going to be horrendous. It's going to be so fishy. You need to eat it when it's really just coming out of the water, either that day or the day after. Any longer than that, and the shelf life really starts to take a nosedive. Mackerel, fresh mackerel is truly delicious, but not fresh mackerel is horrendous. So our mackerel has all been cleaned up, and now we got to clean this mess up. We have a pile of mackerel heads, which would make phenomenal compost, and then we have our freshly cleaned mackerel. So first and foremost, mackerel have that bloodline that we took care of, if you remember, and we're just going to rinse out the internal cavity here of that mackerel. And you don't have to do that. There's just a lot of like irony flavor inside of that cavity, and I'm just getting rid of it because I want a cleaner flavor on these fish. And when you're done, this is what it should look like. Nice, beautiful, clean cavity of that fish. And I'm just gonna put them in this fish tub here, our clean mackerel. All right, now here's where the MacKenzie's comes in. So this is MacKenzie's Fisherman hand scrub. It's one of the only things that I found that totally removes mackerel smell. Mackerel smell, for whatever reason, is more pungent than any other bait fish. I mean, I really think the only fish that it could come toe-to-toe with is like a menhaden, because it's also super oily, but even then I think mackerel wins. So our table, as you can see, is just covered in mackerel guts, blood. If I just use soap and water, it would not get the trick done. So I'm going to show you how to use MacKenzie's Fisherman hand scrub to get rid of the smell, not just off my hands, but off of this cutting board as well. So first we're going to hose this whole thing down. All of it with water. And now that that's done, my hands still smell like mackerel, and obviously this cutting board still smells like mackerel. If I brought this back in the house the way it was, my wife would absolutely kill me. So this is how you use MacKenzie's. The cutting board's still wet, my hand's still wet. We're just gonna do a little tiny dollop, like that much. That's all you need. And we're just gonna scrub this cutting board, like so. If you take a closer look, that right there is brand new. My hands smell like fresh lemon, not a scent of mackerel on it. This cutting board, both sides smell like fresh lemon. It's incredible. It's really crazy. It's really crazy how effective it works. I like to get the grill nice and hot, like so. Then I'm gonna take my mackerel here, and first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure it's dry. And the reason for this is because I wanna make sure that skin gets on the crispier side. Mackerel skin, once it gets cooked, it becomes nice and crispy because of the oils it releases. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna be able to retain the skin. Sometimes it sticks to the grill grates, but once you dry it, just a nice little layer of oil on both sides, like so. I just throw them down, like so. I do a splash of my favorite seasoning. This is just Montreal steak, which I know this is fish, but Montreal steak goes great with mackerel in my opinion. wet. Beautiful. Nice. Oh, see that skin tore right there. That means it wasn't quite ready to go yet. So I'm gonna let that other one go a little longer. Got him. Beautiful. So now we're on to level 2. This is going to be a pan-fried butterflied mackerel. And it sounds scary and sounds intricate, but it's actually quite easy. We're going to follow along the spine, cut from the bottom, tracing that spine, cutting through the ribs, nice and easy. So that one side comes up like that. And then we're going to trace the other side of the spine as well. Just like so. And now it's opened up our spine, as you can see. And we are going to cut this spine out. Like that. I'm gonna just clean it up a little bit. We have these rib bones, as you can see on the side here, that we want to get rid of. And then we also have a line of pin bones that I'm actually not gonna remove, just because this is a smaller fish. It's a smaller mackerel, and I don't want to lose too much yield. But I'm just gonna trim the ribs back here, ever so slightly. Ready for the pan. You can see it start to curl, which ideally, you know, I could put a weight on it, make sure that all that skin makes contact, but it's fine, I'm not that worried about it. Just give it some salt. And while we're waiting for that to cook, again, we're gonna use our MacKenzie's Fisherman hand scrub here, just to clean all of our tools. We're inside now, so makes it all the more important to make sure that nothing really has fish smell on it. You can see all the little caked on pieces of mackerel, fish blood, and you know, if I give it a smell, yeah, that's ripe. And then I'm gonna scrub. And I can feel that grittiness really getting into the nooks and crannies. Exactly what you want, both sides too. Smells like mackerel never was even on there. It's great. Let's flip our mackerel. Seems like she's ready. Oh yeah. Look at that beautiful crispy skin. That's exactly what we're looking for. Absolutely gorgeous. All right. Beautiful mackerel. Oh my gosh, my mouth is watering. Look how nice that looks. All the way cooked all the way through. So this is our third and final, and what I would consider to be the most difficult way to prepare mackerel, and that is Japanese style saba sushi. So we are going to fillet this mackerel. Again, you want a nice sharp knife. Just trace that skeleton as best you can. There we go, not too bad. I'm not the best filleter, but got the job done. And then we're obviously gonna clean these up just by cutting the rib bones off. We have these pin bones here, which, again, if I was serving other people, I would take these out. All you gotta do is you just gotta make it's like a V-shaped line, like so. You can take them all out, but these mackerel are so small, I'm afraid that if I try to do it, I'm gonna do a terrible job. So we're just gonna leave it like that. And now we're just gonna salt our mackerel. This is gonna draw out the moisture, making it firmer. And we're just gonna let that sit in the salt for just about an hour or so.
So our mackerel's been going, it's been salted, and off camera I rinsed off all the salt. So you can see how different the texture is now. All the water has essentially escaped the mackerel, and it's a lot firmer now. It's not like that mushy, squishy texture that mackerel is known for. It's nice and firm. And the last thing we do for this cure is we're gonna throw on some rice wine vinegar, some rice vinegar. I think you're supposed to use mirin, like a traditional recipe, but I've done this before with rice vinegar and it works fine. And then all we're gonna do is just make sure the whole thing is submerged. And we're gonna let that sit for just a few hours. It's already starting to turn. You can see the edges here starting to turn like white. Just gonna put a napkin right here. And then that way the napkin is saturated. And we're gonna let this sit for just a few hours and see when we're done.
All right, so we went through the whole process of curing this mackerel. We first salted it, we let it sit for about an hour or so, and then we cured it in some vinegar after rinsing the salt off. How do you feel? Just one of those interesting things. I didn't even know mackerel had skin prior to trying to make mackerel sushi, but they do, and removing the skin just gives it kind of a more uniform texture when you're biting it. Again, you don't have to do this. It's not gonna like drastically impact your eating experience, but it's just what they do. There we go. So we have our 2 mackerel fillets here cured. Now I'm just gonna slice it into small like sashimi pieces. Look at that. That's beautiful right there. It's a beautiful mackerel sushi piece. You cut an angle so you can get more surface area. Because if I just cut straight down, then the pieces would be really small. So I want to kind of cut at an angle and use the full length of my blade. It's tearing the surface because my knife isn't that sharp, unfortunately, but whatever. We're just cooking for ourselves here. Now I have this nice little beautiful plate here. I'm just gonna plate this up. And then last, we're gonna finish it with just a little bit of lemon zest. Again, mackerel is such a strong flavor that the lemon will not overpower it at all. All right, here's our beautiful sushi style mackerel, also known as saba. This is probably as close as you can get to a sushi restaurant conveniently. Let's see what it tastes like. If you've never had that, I would definitely recommend trying it at least once in your life. It's sour, it's salty, got a nice strong fish flavor, and something happens, like the complexities of that mackerel, it just, something happens. It's just super funky